Hey everyone, and welcome to my weekly check-in vlog, where I take you along for the weekend to see how I'm doing and what I'm reading. My name is Wiebke, and this year I'm trying to get myself out of survival mode. This weekend it's supposed to rain a bit, and I'm basically planning a relaxed reading weekend. I have a few errands to run. I want to donate another bag of books, but mostly I want to sit down and read a lot. I'm on my way out to go running, and I'm still listening to Oathbringer, the third book in the Stormlight archive. I have about 14 hours at 1.75 speed left, so I'm hoping not to finish it this weekend, but next week, so that I can listen to something else next weekend. Because the thing with overly long books for me is that I kind of lose interest, even though I like them, if it takes me too long to finish them. That's the thing with big books. I like if stories expand, but I tend to get restless in a story if it doesn't progress or if I don't progress. Like, I'm a slow reader and I don't have that much time to fly through the story. Then I spend a lot of time with the book and I tend to get a little bit bored by it. And with the Stormlight archive, all the books are very long and big, and I am not completely invested in the first place. I like what's going on. I like to listen to the stories. But like I said last time, I don't really know why. Because it's overly political, it's overly epic, and I'm not usually a fan of epic and overly political stories. And I'm not really invested with any of the characters that I particularly care about them. I'm curious about what is going to happen and all the things that are happening in this world and the developments with all the different factions, and the more knowledge we get about this world and the history. But yeah, I'm not that invested. So I am looking forward to finishing this book to read something else shorter, definitely. The other book I want to read this weekend is continuing on with Stars of Chaos. I'm halfway through the second volume, and I'm not sure if I want to take a break after the second volume and continue with something else first, or if I just continue the story. As these Danmai books that are transferred from web novels, they usually tend to have one story over all those books, so the story won't end. It's like reading one big story. And yeah, I just said I'm not a big fan of epic fantasy, and that's a hassle for me too. And the difference between the epic fantasy series is usually that there is a break between one book and the next book, so you can actually take a break. But with these Danmai novels, there isn't really a break between one book and the next. Well, there is a chapter break, but the story doesn't really progress later, usually. In this one, the first book ended and the second book started 4 or 6 years later. Definitely a couple of years later. So maybe this is happening at the end of book 2, and with the beginning of book 3 as well. So I don't know about that, but I'm really enjoying the story at the moment. I have to go running now before I lose interest, and maybe it'll start to rain. Let's see. Talk to you later. So my run was very good, but before I go out, I wanted to pack another bag for the secondhand store. And as you can see, a lot of books have already disappeared. And I noticed that the hard part is not which books to let go, or rather which to keep. It's more like letting go of the idea of a grand library. I've always wanted to have a library to impress people to come into my place, and then they'll be awed. But let's be honest, that never happened. I don't remember once that someone was impressed by the books I owned. And also no one ever goes like, oh, I've read this, let's talk about this. Let's just have a conversation about this book. Especially not the ones that basically no one knows, because I'm an avid cover buyer. And also so many books that I have, no one has heard of. And I always wanted to impress people with that, deep down a little bit. I think that's also a reason why I keep them or kept them so long. But now I've reached the point where I'm tempting more to go for the idea of a favorite library, where you only have the books that you really like, that you would like to reread, or that are favorites, or have great covers, let's be honest. And that leaves so few that I keep just picking them out right now. There are so many books I didn't care about, like Where the Reasons End by Yi-Yun Lee. Didn't care about the book. That I don't even know why I still have them. It's partly because I wanted to keep track of the books I've read and the books I've owned. Oh, this one I hated. Everybody loved it. The Story of My Teeth and by Valeria Luiselli. But it's just a collection of things that I'm keeping. And there's no reason why, because most of them, let's not talk about Wicked, I really didn't get that. So I don't know why everyone loves it. But go you. Lost my track of sentence. What did I say before? I don't remember. Keep that. So, but most of the books where I'm not really sure why I have them or why I still have them, I can easily let them go. And this might happen even more when I look at that, whatever gets left behind or left over. And if I do it again, I might get rid of those books as well. I do miss the chance of having a real good secondhand bookstore. We used to have one when I was at university, where you could bring books and take books. The problem with the bookshops we have here right now, the secondhand stores, is they don't have the books I want to read. I can bring the books, but it's not an exchange. So I keep just getting the books. And since I'm reading mostly digital, I'm not attached to all these physical beings anymore. I do like to read a physical book every now and again, and I do like to hold them and look at them. And I'm always tempted to buy physical books, but I'm not as bothered about keeping them anymore. Yeah, let's see. I need 2 stacks of this, and that's one of those bags. Yeah, Arthur Miller, that's other people can read that. The Tender Bar, that's a cover buy. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read it once again because it's the memoirs of a drunkard. I'll like to keep my Christopher Moore books for a while. I still haven't read Utopia. This one is a strange book. I think no one has read this. It's fun. I loved when I read it. Oh, I really liked this cover. The story was nice too. So, is that enough or... We'll see. I think a few more can go. Down here. This one. Reproduction by Ian Williams. I really enjoyed it. It's quite a chunker and the writing was really amazing. But still, I will never read that thing again. And no one will come and say, ooh, you've read that. Sadly. This one I read at university, Going Native. Some horrible road stories. That's all Virginia Woolf. I'm going to keep those. And some Oscar Wilde. I could get rid of Slaughterhouse-Five. I've read this twice, at least. And the second time I read it, I didn't remember it. But I apparently read it twice. So that didn't stick in my mind. Not all classics are good to remember. I think that's matching the back. All right, time to take it away. Second try. There's too many people here. I wanted to finish up the vlog. I've been listening to a bit more of the Oathbringer, and I finished reading Stars of Chaos, the second volume. And I've been thinking a lot about why I compared them yesterday and what the difference is. I call them both epic because they're both very long, but it's like comparing apples and pears. The books of the Stars of Chaos They're around 400 pages each, while the Stormlight Archive books are about 1,000 pages around. So it's just much longer. And I also noticed that why I find the Stars of Chaos easier and faster to read is because it's less detailed. It doesn't have that many characters. We're mainly focusing on the prince and the fourth prince and his godfather and their relationship, and also what's going on in the country. The second book deals with rebellion and an attack from the outside, so there is danger apart. But we also see those two interacting. And what I really liked about the second volume is that it didn't go into misunderstandings and miscommunications, but the young prince just said, like, hey, godfather, I really have indecent feelings for you, and I do whatever you want. And so there's that I really liked. Whereas the Stormlight Archive is really following too many people, making them move forward, and it's mostly fighting. There are constantly wars, there's constantly fighting, there is talk of fighting for survival, fighting for conquest, fighting that seems like the ideal goal would be genocide. And there is the struggle for power and a lot of things going on. And too many characters to just focus on one. That makes it even more epic than epic. And yeah, that's what's dragging on the Stormlight Archive and why the Stars of Chaos is a faster read. I am going to go home in a second and just have dinner and do nothing. So finishing the vlog here, let me know in comments what you did this weekend. What are your thoughts on epic fantasy, or if you've read the Stormlight Archive, do you feel like I feel that if you're not really that invested in any of the characters or any of the events, that it can be a little tedious? Thanks for watching.